Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another Ultimate Creative Chat. We are here today with Michelle Dukes. She is the owner of Papi's Bourbon, and she is going to talk to us today about legacy, creating a legacy and building these businesses so that we are leaving a legacy for our children. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to being here.
Absolutely. Okay, well, tell us how you got started and when, and what the goal is for your brand, so that you are actually leaving a legacy for your family.
Sure. So, first of all, I got started in this business because my grandfather used to make moonshine down in Arlington, Kentucky,
Mm,
1930s, early 40s. He ended up getting ran up out of there because he was a big time moonshine bootlegger, ran from
okay.
state to state. They moved to California, opened up one of the first black bars in the Crenshaw district called the
Okay.
Duke's Living Room. Since then, they don't own it anymore. We don't own it. But I got an opportunity to bring his moonshine into a legal status in the U.S. And it was very
Okay.
exciting for me because this is something my grandfather, first of all, fought for his life over. I mean, this was,
Mm,
something that he did. People loved it, and he ran for his life. And so to be able to do this is such a blessing because it's like I'm living out his dream. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? And so I feel like it's a generational blessing. We're able to leave legacy now because I have a daughter, a granddaughter, and everything I do is to make sure they don't have to work as hard as I had to. Make sure they don't have to go
Mm,
through the steps and the trials and the tribulations that I've had to go through as a woman, as a
yeah.
person. Um, and so it's very exciting because with me doing this, it just allows me not only to provide a future for them, but to pick up on the past that my grandfather had set up for his life. So it's a
Hmm.
very revolutionizing feeling because it's kind of like I'm taking on something my family believed in, and it's the bourbon is delicious, it's good, and so not only is it a good product, but it has so much meaning and
Okay.
legacy is a part of it.
Okay, wow. Yes, that legacy is important. And what we do is not just for us, like we know, it's not just for us. It's not just about us fulfilling our passions and everything, but, what about whoever's coming behind us? What about them?
Absolutely. And I don't want to be the person with the fish fry and the hamburger stand trying to get money for GoFund this and GoFund
Yes.
that and all that. I want to create it where we don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the
Hmm.
great grandma on the mantle 180 years from now. And they say, remember Grandma Duke? she,
Right. Right.
she laid down the foundation for us, and now we don't have to work so hard. And so I think
Yes.
that is just so important because you see a lot of other generations, nationalities doing these types of generational
Hmm.
lineages where they're sending money down one person worked in the 1800s and they're still living off that money. And that's
Yes.
the type of stuff that I think that we should all try to create in our
Hmm.
own lives, something that your family can look at and benefit from. And it's something that we can hold close to our heart because it's something dear.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a very quick break, and we're going to come back and talk to Michelle a little bit more about this idea of leaving a legacy. We'll be right back. Do you own a growing business? Danielle Rosser's clients get the keys to success when it comes to meeting their bottom line. Reach your intended audience with the proper branding, messaging, and storytelling when you partner with Ultimate Creative. So, what can Ultimate Creative do for you? Click the link in the description for a consultation and let's get started. Back to the show. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging in there with us and tuning in this time again to an Ultimate Creative Chat. Again, I am here with Michelle Dukes, who is the owner of Papi's Bourbon, and she's already told us why it's called Papi's Bourbon. This is based on her grandfather's bourbon recipe and the whiskey that he sold back in, what was it, Prohibition times?
Yes.
Um, yeah, so she is continuing that, and now we're talking about legacy and the idea of, starting something or carrying on something that can be meaningful for future generations. So, Michelle, again, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I appreciate everything you're doing and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, let's talk about leaving this legacy. You said you have a daughter, right? And a
Yes, and
granddaughter.
granddaughter.
Yes. So I know, it's probably at the top of your mind, what is going to be my story, when they, just like in that, I don't know if you watched the musical Hamilton, but, who tells your story? And then what are they going to tell about you? That is your legacy,
Absolutely.
really, that's your
Absolutely.
legacy. So, what type of legacy do you want to leave your family?
Hmm. Well, the first thing I want to leave my family is to let them know that they were loved, because let me tell you something. You can leave all the money in the world. If
Hmm.
you didn't feel no love, it's just a bunch of money. So the
Hmm.
first things I want to do is I want to let them know they were loved, that I love them. And I worked hard to make sure they didn't have to work as hard as I had to work. And in that, I want them to be able to grow, build, and earn. And what am I saying? I don't want to just give them something and now it's just, oh, we just got all this money and now we're some spoiled brats. No, I want you to have this money, right? And then I want you to know how to take it and grow more trees with the seeds, and to take it and bless other people and to make a difference in the community, not just in my
Hmm.
household, but in the community. What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for people that are in need? So it's just a bigger picture for me. See, the legacy is not just for my family, it's also for others. And what am I saying? If I have Poppy's bourbon in every store across the country, that means I need people to work. And that means their families are eating off the same legacy that we're talking about. Although they're not a part of my family, but they are, because we are a family building Poppy's bourbon. And so I feel like this legacy has legs on it. So it blesses my family. And that's, of course, my immediate thing, that I want to bless my family. But then it blesses other families. And I definitely want to bless other families. I want to make the difference. I don't want to be the type of person that everything's about me, my family, my this, my that. No, it's about
Yeah.
others, because in order to be blessed, you must have your hand open to give and to receive. And so my hand is open to
Hmm.
be a blessing to our communities and to our people, and to people that are, you can't find a job. Well, you can apply for Poppies and be a, delivery guy. You don't have a job, you can be a sales rep, you can be an accountant, a manager. So many jobs, so many levels. And then my
Hmm.
grandchild can look back and say, hey, my grandmother started this, and it started off from a thought, a dream. And now look at it today. We've got 10,000 employees, we got 20,000 reps, we got this, and that. And then it shows her how to create, how to dream, and how to support that dream.
All right. Yes. I love that. And it's very important to have something to pass down besides something material, something tangible. Those intangible things really make the
Absolutely.
difference. And that means so much more than anything we could give our children or grandchildren.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know what I find? We don't communicate enough and tell each other we love each other, and hold each other. Here for you. No matter what you're going through, I'm here for you. And so me doing this, I'm also saying, hey, I'm here for you, because I'm here for you, because I'm not just doing this for me. I probably got more years behind me than ahead of me. You get what I'm trying to say, because of my age, right? So hopefully I have more than I've already passed over.
I
But you
wouldn't be
understand what
able
I'm
to
trying to say.
tell. I'll take your word for it.
You take my word. Okay, take my
Yeah, and we
word
talked
for
about
it.
that hat too.
Thank you so much, girl. Howdy, partner. Yeah, howdy, partner. Yeah, so I'm just very, very excited that this opportunity has come. I feel like my father and my grandfather are smiling down from heaven because this is something that they believe in, and it's named after them. I didn't name it Mimi's. I didn't name it Michelle. I didn't do any of that. I named it Poppies with an S. It's dedicated to the life of Lloyd Dukes and Pratt Dukes, and that's my grandfather and my father. And I want their legacy to live on, and for us to know what my grandfather had to go through. He fought for his life. You know, they burned crosses. They tried to kill him. He ran from state to state. He had an S on the back of our name. My last name is really Duke, Duke. It is now Dukes. I was born a Dukes because before I was born, all of this took place. But my last name should be
Mhm.
Duke. He was so scared. He changed his last name, his birthday. See, back then you could get away with stuff like that and run, run, run.
Right.
So, like I said, it's very exciting. And the first case that I got, the first pallet that came in, my father visited me in the dream. And when he came, it was so real. When I woke up, I looked through my house to see where he was. And he was pleased. They were proud. And so that feels so good just to know that they're watching down from heaven. That means they're pulling strings in heaven too. So it's just such a blessing.
Awesome. Well, it is definitely good to have that legacy and those memories too. I know that you have some fond memories of them where you are able to also share those with your family and pass those down. That's also a part of the legacy. Um,
Absolutely.
yes. What do you think each of their legacies have been that they've been able to pass down?
Um, from my grandfather, I mean, obviously the first thing I'm gonna say is the bourbon since we're talking about it. But honestly, you know what? My grandfather, and I didn't realize how strong of an individual he was until I got older. Because as a kid, you're a kid. You're playing outside, you're doing this and that. But what I noticed about my grandfather, no matter what neighborhood we moved into, no whatever community we moved into, all the men and women, men primarily, would come and want to be his friend. And I'm not talking about just regular men. I'm talking about it could be gang members in the neighborhood. It could be whomever. He was kind of like a person that people wanted to learn from, no matter where you came from. He was such a strong, dominant man. And I mean he was, let's just say he was 70 years old and he had men coming over that were 20 trying to learn from him. That's not common in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
If you move into a new neighborhood in Los Angeles and the neighborhood has gangs in it or different men, they're not necessarily coming to learn from you. You're in their neighborhood. So you should, bow
Hmm.
down to them, let's just say, right? But
Right.
wherever he went, they gravitated to him. And so I want to say the legacy I learned from him is just loving people and being myself and letting every person, you know what? It's like watering a plant. One person sows the seed, someone waters it, you get it watered again. And so for my grandfather, he told me when I was young, and I didn't believe him. He said these little girls used to come visit me all the time and go play, and we used to run up and down the street. And he would say, "Them little girls aren't your friends." He said, 10 years from now, you won't even know them. He said, half of them is jealous of you, and the other half is going to bite you and backbite you. He is
Wow.
so
Yep.
mean. I thought he is so mean. How could he say that about Keisha and them? And they're my friends. We're gonna play Barbies or whatever was in my mind. But as I
Hmm.
look back, he's so right. After 10 years, I didn't know any of them. I wouldn't know half of them if they passed by me right now. The other half
Wow.
was jealous. The other half was haters, and the other half played games. What am I saying? He kept it so real. I didn't understand the realness. He told me that as a
It's
kid.
like that.
You know what I'm trying
But
to say?
that's that elder wisdom. That's that
I,
wisdom from our elders that we
that's
need.
it. That's it. And I didn't get it at first. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I thank him for being so real. You know what I'm saying? No one else was that real about it. And when I mean that, he was serious. He was like, young lady, I'm letting you know, these are not your friends. So I think that that's one thing he left behind, to love people, but watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You can love on them, but you
Yeah.
need to watch them, because everyone that says they're your friend is not. Everyone that says they're
Mm-hmm.
happy for you is not. Sometimes a smile is a frown upside down. They smile and
Mm.
frown and they sad about your blessing.
Oh yeah.
They want to know, why is it not them? But what they got to remember is everybody got their own set of blessings. God blesses us all with our own talents, our own blessings. You got the same 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with your 24 hours? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's what I would say about my grandfather. Now, my father, I'm going to say that my father was a minister as well. And my father was just, everywhere he was, he had a charismatic spirit. Like, people were drawn to him, kind of like my grandfather, just in a different way. My
Okay.
grandfather, the people in the neighborhood, everybody would just flock to him. But my dad would be out in the world, and people would always just like love him. He would have favor everywhere he went. And what I learned from my dad was he was always the light in the room. When he walked in the room, he graced and said hello to everyone. Hello, and how are you? And
Mm-hmm.
so kind and funny, and just put a smile on your face. And I learned a smile goes a long way. A long way. It goes miles and miles. A
Oh
smile.
yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
you could work all day at the hamburger stand, let's just say, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
got an attitude. I want a fry, I want a burger. But if somebody come in like, hey, how you doing today? Yeah, let me get that number 3 right there. You looking pretty, young lady. That person made your day. And
That's
that's who my
right.
daddy was. He was that light in the room. So I learned
Mm-hmm.
that from my dad, to stay the light in the room.
Oh man, that's saying a whole lot. And you really can just brighten up somebody's day. Even on the phone, you can hear a smile. You don't have to
Absolutely.
see the person.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
just how you deal with people. It's happened to me so many times. I'm out and someone will say, you're the best customer I had all day, or you made my day, and I didn't really do anything but just be myself. And being myself is
exactly.
being kind and respecting people from wherever they're at, whatever
Hmm.
level they're on. There's no big I's and little U's. Everybody is to treat it respectfully. If you want respect, you must give it to earn.
Yes,
It's earned.
that's right. 100%. Wow. Well, we could go all day on this. Just on that right there, we could go all day. But I am so glad that we've had a chance to rap with you today. I want you all to know her website is right there on the screen. You can check that out and learn more about her brand and how long. I know this is pretty much it's an old business, it's an old recipe, but you have revamped things. And so, how long has it been since you've actually called it Papi's Bourbon and kind of given it new life?
It's been about 16 months. It's about a year and a half.
Okay.
Um, and it's been very exciting, because it's the bourbon without the burn. It's strong enough for a man, but smooth enough for us ladies, okay? And
Okay.
and it mixes so well with everything. It doesn't have that bite at the end. And
Okay.
everyone that tastes it, whether they say, "Oh, I don't drink brown," or "I never had bourbon," it's like I bust their cherry. And what I mean by that is
Okay.
like someone saying, "I don't eat sushi," but now they're eating up all the sushi, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what happens once they try poppies. They become a fan
Gotcha.
of the bourbon, and they desire a new palate for something
Okay.
new, you know.
Okay.
And I want to say, real boss ladies, they drink a little bourbon. If you watch any gangster movie back in the day with the mafia, with the people earning money, what did they get them? A glass of bourbon, some whiskey. Every movie you look at, Goodfellas, all the way down to something from
Mm-hmm.
1900s. When they got to their office, they got them something whiskey bourbon. So understand it's an elite drink for us to enjoy, and Poppy's bourbon stands apart, and you must try it. Get yours today, baby. Poppies!
All right. Thank you so much, Michelle. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you
Have a
spending time with me today and all of us.
thank
and
you.
yes, and definitely sharing that information about legacy and the importance of it.
Yeah,
So,
it's very
yes,
important. And
yes,
thank you for having me. I look forward to speaking to you again. And this is such a
absolutely.
blessing for me as well because what I do is dear to my heart and I love it and I feel like it's an opportunity for me to help change the world. I can't change every part of the world, but I can change a few lives around the way.
That's right. That's right. It's a little bit at a time.
That's
So
it. That's
thank you
right.
so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. And you're blessing my show too by being here and speaking to everyone. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you so much. And you have a blessed day.
You too. Everybody, keep it here. Come back for another Ultimate Creative Chat. If you look down and scroll, we have several others for you to watch. So go ahead and tune in and leave us your thoughts in the comments. Bye.
Bye.
So, what can Ultimate Creative do for you? Click the link in the description for a consultation and let's get started.